everybody. Welcome to another live edition of Pittsburgh Sportsline in the studio at BPTV. Thanks for watching us. Wow, that pink shirt really looks pink.
I was going to say, I think
that's exceptional.
That isn't Alan Levine.
Wow.
That's Albert Einstein over here.
Whoa. Oh, thanks for the hair comment. Appreciate it. All right, I'm Al Levine, the talking machine. I got Chip Hayner here and Smoking Jim Frazier, all three of us together this week. So we're ready to do our show. Thanks for watching us on Comcast 7, only in Bethel Park. Appreciate the great feedback. Thanks for watching us on Verizon 32 in Bethel Park and everywhere from Nemacolin to Cranberry, Wexford, and all points in between. We appreciate you. Facebook, we're back up to 6670. Thanks for those likes. Appreciate that. We're hovering around 6668. It's been bouncing around a little bit there, but hey, that happens. We appreciate the likes, though. And thanks for watching our shows. We've put out a few different shows out there. Even had a Saturday day show that will be up in another week or so up in Upper St. Clair. So check that out. The pictures were well liked. I appreciate all the likes and comments there. And we did have a great time with the Miracle League in Upper St. Clair Rec Center. So great facility up there. Smoking Jim will tell you about that field. He just liked looking at the field. It was just odd that Smoking Jim come up looking at the field.
Did he run the bases?
He barely moved, but you know, we're okay. We're okay. That's another story for another day. Thanks to Olive Oil's Pizzeria for their pizza and Hoagie for sponsoring our TV show. Thanks again, Frank Fanera, for that. We appreciate it. We also have a sponsor for What's on Your Mind. That's Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station. Anything that runs on gas, give Skeets a call. 724-348-4715. Give him a call. He'll work on anything, cars, trucks, bikes, lawnmowers, weed whackers, you name it, boats, anything, trailers. He'll work on it for you. Give him a call. That's right past Trax Farm and Mineral Beach. You can find Skeet Service Station, red, white, and blue. And we're going to start our show with What's on Your Mind, Smoking Jim Frazier.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
here coming at you.
You got to see Levine. You didn't do your promos, I don't think.
That's all right. We'll
okay.
delay it a little.
We'll get to them.
We'll delay it.
I want to thank my Pittsburgh Pirates for giving me some free tickets to the game last Wednesday. And I enjoyed that to see my Cubbies and the Pirates play. And I got there a little late, and I thought I left at the end of the fifth inning. But when I was walking out, they said it was the top of the fifth inning. So
it was the fourth inning.
I made it through almost 4 innings, but I came
Wait. You got there a little late, so you got there in the third inning, and you left in the fifth inning.
It was the bottom of the first. Waiting on the elevator to take me up, man. That elevator.
Was that the freight elevator?
Yeah, I didn't know the elevator had a man in it, right?
Yeah.
So I pushed the button, and the button's still lighting up. People were getting off the elevator. It's taking a long time. I just happened to peek in after I missed a couple elevators. There's a man in there. So I got in. He was able to take me where I needed to go. That button just he's on, man. They got to do something about that. A little confusing.
That's job security.
But I thought the game would be over. I had to leave at 8:30.
When did you think the game would be over?
I thought the game be just about over at 8:30. He said I done missed the pierogi races and everything. But hey, what's on?
An hour and a half. Usually the ad takes an hour and a half to get through the lineup the first time.
But I did get there late. I missed the home run by. No, I think I got to. No, the Cubs was winning when I got there 1-0, and then the little black kid, what's his name, Harrison. He popped a home run. Yeah, Jay Hay popped one out. But I was up. Thanks to Pirates, put me up in peanut heaven. But there was all good seats. I wish I had brought my binoculars. But anyhow, I was down
that's
first
where I live
line.
Up there, 300 section.
Really?
300 section. I love it.
Yeah, it was 307. Was you near there?
I'm in 314.
Okay, I think I see
Your
you.
neighbors.
Yeah, that's where I was, somewhere around
You can
there.
see the field
Well,
nicely.
that's
from
behind
there.
home plate, Jim.
Well, I was down the first base line a bit.
Okay.
But anywho, what's on my mind is congratulations for winning the Stanley Cup to Alex Ovechkin.
Hasn't done it yet.
It's sewn up, man. Up 3-1, brother. It's all over. Fat lady singing. Hey, Marc-Andre Fleury is my second all-time favorite Penguin behind Yager. Alex Ovechkin is my second all-time favorite NHL hockey player behind only Wayne, the scoring train, Wayne Gretzky, the scoring train. But anyhow, Ovi is not only is he's the only superstar I've ever seen in hockey that don't need a goon. I mean, when he hits you, you're picking up your teeth off the ice. This guy's just incredible. And when he comes down that left side, he's almost unstoppable. He's unbelievable. 6'3", 235. And I tell you what, man, this guy's like a bulldozer on skates. And the grade 8 is basically very unstoppable. And I tell you what, this guy, over 600 career goals. He's just moving up the list. And if you love hockey, you have to love my Irish friend.
I'll pass on that.
Ovi, Alex.
He's
Ovechkin.
not Irish.
The grade 8.
He's not Irish.
Russian.
You said Irish.
Russian.
You said Irish.
Russian.
You said Irish.
Soviet Union. But that's
Smoking
what's
Jim.
on my mind.
Thank you, Smoking Jim.
Here come another fan.
Not of you.
Of Ovi.
Chip, thanks for showing my pink shirt. Real men on Pittsburgh Sportsline wear pink.
We ready for me?
Guess what? If Chip could say what's on his mind,
Okay,
let's do
we'll
it.
say what's. Okay, the first thing I want to say that's on my mind is, of course, if Alex Ovechkin hits you, yeah, somebody's teeth are going to be picked up, but they're not going to be his because he doesn't have any. Okay, so little tease on the trivia before I get to what's on my mind.
Whoa.
Okay, something happened in Major League Baseball last night that's never happened before since 1857. It's the first time it happened was last night. Aaron Judge, superstar outfielder for the New York Yankees, shared the home run title last year. He struck out 8 times in 9 at-bats over the course of a doubleheader, and it's the first time in Major League Baseball history that a player has struck out
That's amazing.
8 times in a doubleheader, and this is going to be a $300 million player. So,
Hey, Babe
That
Ruth,
just goes to show you.
always said, don't worry about the strikeouts.
yeah, no, when you've got more strikeouts than you do home runs, it's time to start wondering. But that being said, what's on my mind this week? Well, we're not hearing much from the South Side lately, especially regarding the organized
Missing
team
players.
activities.
There's missing players.
So this is what my thought is here. Anybody that is prepared to celebrate a Steelers championship season better make other arrangements. I think what we're seeing here is a complete lack of team unity when all of your team leaders and all your superstar players don't find it necessary to bond with their new teammates, even though they have a new offensive coordinator, which means they've got a new system to learn. But our super high-paid superstars don't find it necessary to share in the team-building activities that are going on now. And I think that just kind of speaks to what happened last year in the first round against Jacksonville. It's probably going to happen in the first round of the playoffs this year because it just doesn't seem to me like there's team unity, that there's a desire to want to win, there's a desire to make themselves better. Because anybody that's ever played sports knows that you need to practice your craft to become very, very good at it. I don't care if you've been in the league 15 years or 15 minutes. I think it's a real bad sign, and the fact that Tomlin lets the players, well, basically this is what I'm going to come out and say. The tail is wagging the dog here, and that's not how I think a winning organization should be. Now, you look at all the other teams that are out there trying to win. You don't hear all of their superstars. Okay, maybe Tom Brady got an exemption, but
hold it. Brady and Gronk showed up today.
Okay, there you go.
They were there.
Maybe they're interested in trying to make it back to the Super Bowl next year. But if the Steelers stars think that they're just going to show up at the beginning of training camp and they're going to hit the ground running, I'm really disappointed in them. And a team that I would think would have the potential to be a championship contender, I don't think they show in the heart to me, and that's what's on my mind.
Nice, Chip. I appreciate that. What's on my mind is first I got these promos, so we'll bring Devin in again and adjust that camera. Thank you, Olive Oil's Pizzeria in Bethel Park at Hillcrest Shopping Center, 412-831-1900. Give them a call. It was a little slow when I went in there, so get the boys and girls working there, 412-831-1900. Call in and see what they got on special, and their food is great. We enjoyed it. Matter of fact, Smoking Jim even bit a finger off. He ate so quickly there, man. Excellent, Smoking. We always end each show with Stay Joey Strong. There's Joey before DIPG and after DIPG, the brain cancer that took his life at 9 years old. There's the Joey Favis Childhood Cancer Foundation. You can donate money. They're a 501c3. All the money they get, they donate it to find a cure for this dreaded brain cancer. And they have a 5K run coming up in September, I've heard. We'll get more information on that. Then another 501c3, the Bethel Park Historical Society's Schoolhouse Arts and History Center. Right there on South Park Road, you see the trolley. That's where the place got 5,000 new windows. It's been refurbished. They rent it out. They do different events there. Just a great thing in the community, and a lot of history in there in the building. So check that out. Got an event. Lucy Fairzy told us about Style and Glam Boutique. That's June 16th in Oakland, and there's all kind of competition in the style and glam world, so check it out. She's in there running for different makeup that she does, so check that out. June 16th coming up. Then the Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix, great event. Comes up every year. This is the 36th year of it. July 6th through the 15th. They race in Shenley Park. They get 100,000 people a day. Smoking Jim might avoid that place because it's too crowded. But it's up there in Shenley Park. They race through the park, and it's quite an event there. They have different events throughout the city and Oakland. So check it out. Look at pvgp.org. And if you want to be a volunteer, tell Dan Del Bianca that Al Levine said you could be a volunteer there. He'll accept you. Take care. That's pvgp.org. Check them out. Then the Bethel Park Community Foundation has money for you. $100 to $5,000 for your group and the good things you're doing in Bethel Park. If you need money to help fund your group to do good things, get bpcf.org, bpcf.org, get an application and apply for some money. Now, Dave Cable likes to have some fun, so he put my face on this little flyer. Uncle Al wants you for BPTV. We got Ethan here. We got Steve, the Rookie of the Year. And, of course, one of our original guys, or almost original guys, Devin Shea, keeping a tight hand on the controls in the sound room and the cameras. Right now, we have no camera person in here. That's how good Devin Shea and Steve are. So I appreciate it. I want you for BPTV. My man Johnny Mariano, I saw him the other day. He said, due to job changes and different things, he will be back running some cameras for us. So look back for Johnny. Call 412-831-3304. Tell Dave Cable you want to volunteer. What's on my mind is I hate to get political, but in this case I am, because there's somebody in the White House and he's antagonized football players because he called them SOBs. And he doesn't know why they're upset, and he's trying to focus on the national anthem. These protests aren't even about the national anthem. It's about different discrimination and things. And he got word that only 10 Eagles were going to show up, plus the mascot. Well, it was down to 5 maybe. Last I heard was 10 Eagles and a mascot. So how Mr. Trump operates is when he hears some negative thoughts, because he's all out there, he puts his word out that, guess what, you're not invited. So he uninvited the Philadelphia Eagles, which to me, who cares? If you don't want to go to the White House, don't go. We've had players not go to the White House from years ago. Smoking Jim's hero that lifts weights by himself and everything was afraid to fly, and the Steelers won a Super Bowl, and he said, I ain't going to D.C. And he didn't go. James Harrison. And what did we hear about that? Crickets. But so this controversy with it doesn't even matter. It got started years and years ago. They'd bring teams there and invite them to the White House. Now a guy who's not a politician politicized the political aspect of having your team there or not there. So how crazy is it? The NFL didn't want to highlight on this national anthem, but somehow they made it that way, and that's all people are talking about. It's more of a problem now about the national anthem than it was before the new rule come in. But we'll see what happens. That's what's on my mind, and we got plenty of sports coming up, and we got some fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Thanks, Chip Hayner. Thanks, Ethan, Devin Shea, and the Rookie of the Year, Steve Fisher. I would like for, that was great what's on your mind, Al Levine, the talking machine, but I always like to refer to the president as President Trump, just so, we can all do that.
No respect.
And your point is?
Well, sometimes we call him Mr. Trump, but he's actually our president, President Trump.
Well, the way he was acting on some of this, he wasn't presidential. I respect the office, but not the man that's not being presidential. Like, how do you make an announcement?
Cheeto in charge.
How do you make an announcement? Not to repeat myself, but you're calling NFL players who are special, there's only a select few of them that are in the NFL, SOBs. How does that happen, and how do you relate to that being a president? How does that happen?
And I was vocal when James Harrison didn't show up. I believe that it's an honor to be invited to the White House.
You wouldn't have made the plane. You'd have been late.
I mean, right now, if President Trump would call me, as long as it's not on Tuesday night, I'm committed to the show
thank you.
on Tuesday night. But if I'm going, so
it would have been Tuesday night, so you couldn't have gone.
We'd all been there. We're a championship team.
No.
We're a championship team.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have been there. I wouldn't have been there.
You wouldn't have went either?
No.
That's the president. We voted him in.
There isn't a person
Smoking
in the
Jim,
United States of America I have less respect
Smoking
for.
Jim, I just want to announce I have a streak of 339 shows in a row. I wouldn't have missed it. 339. That's on my list. You talk about Joe DiMaggio, I got 339.
That'll never be broken. That's amazing. But
forget about your theory on Mr. Trump.
Well, the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. I guess he may have guessed it. But,
No, he did not guess it.
Okay.
Because it's a mystery. We don't know what you're going to talk about.
But I was at the WPIAL Hall of Fame this weekend, and I'm very critical of the WPIAL Hall of Fame, but they did show me some information where Gateway has 8 players in, which is the most of any school in the WPIAL.
Congratulations.
The next closest school only has 5, although, like I told them, they
What's the
should be
name of
putting-
the school?
I won't
Is
say.
it located near Monroeville?
Is it between Monroeville and Pittsburgh?
Penn Hills.
But, so it's an honor
Just a guess.
to be the number one, have the number one most players in. But like I told them Saturday night, there should be 4 or 5 guys going in every year from Gateway. But hey, congratulations to Coach Terry Smith, Justin King, his son, and Curtis Bray. All went in this year in the WPIL Hall of Fame. And I tell you what, man, Terry Smith was, you talk about somebody whose ambition was greater than his talent. A little dude could barely see over the center in junior high and elementary school, youth league football, but always had that big time arm. Great basketball player, super quick. Thought he was just going to be as tall as Muggsy Bogues.
Who's Muggsy Bogues?
I still say that Joe Paterno only recruited him to try to get to Curtis Bray, who was a year behind him in school. And but Terry Smith just went to make the most of it, set some records, and receiving at Penn State, played a little bit in the NFL and the CFL and the arena football, and now he's the assistant head coach at Penn State. But Curtis Bray did something that I didn't realize till they said it at the WPIL Hall of Fame, and I thought I misheard it in between steak bites.
What is it?
That he's the only defensive player to win the first defensive player to win the National High School Player of the Year.
Really?
And
wow.
When he played at Gateway, their team was so great, number 3 in the nation, USA Today, that Coach Anna Marino two-platooned the team. So although he could have been an All-American tight end, he was a real good tight end, he just concentrated on outside linebacker, defensive end, and totally dominated the high school level. Didn't do that well in college, even though he started as a true freshman because he had bad knees. But the late, great Curtis Bray got the chance to meet his wife and his kids, and she told me one thing. She says, I didn't know this. He says she never knew he was a great player. He never talked about his individual achievements, and that really shows how Curtis Bray was. And I remember one last story. The first time there's a kid on the team named Al Lardo, white guy.
Get out.
And Curtis Bray.
You didn't bring the race card out early.
And my dad, who was the booster, my dad was the Gateway Parent Booster president. A lot of money come up.
Sugar daddy.
Yeah, a lot of money come up.
Don't tell us about the plane. We don't want to hear about the plane.
We was eating good in them days, but the first time my dad seen Curtis Bray and Al Lardo, and he
introduced himself.
He asked one of my brothers. He says, "What do they teach?" Here they were in junior high school. They were just so big.
They were men among boys.
Men among boys, even in junior high school, end up being great.
Anybody check their birth certificates?
We don't.
I know you would know that.
We don't do that at Gateway, brother. and grades is not a problem. If you get a D, you can play for me at Gateway. But so
it's traditional.
That's what's on. That's the fiction and fact from Smoking Jim's Almanac. Congratulations, Gateway, still leader, WPIL Hall of Fame.
I'm always thankful, Smoking Jim, that you can tell us how great Gateway is. We'll go to Chip Painter next.
Oh, good evening. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into my trivia segment. And sorry I missed last week, but I
business
like to
is
sure.
business.
And next week I'll be on a slight sabbatical, so got to take some time off. I'm going to recharge the batteries and everything.
And eat some lobster.
Yeah, we eat quite a bit of lobster. We're going to reduce the population, and I would have to say significantly. Okay? But, I've been talking about various things in my trivia segments. I talked about the 300 Club.
Yeah.
I talked about the 3,000 Hit Club.
Yes.
Pretty exclusive clubs. I want to talk about an even more exclusive club. It has one member.
4,000 hit.
One member. Okay? And that is the 56-game hitting streak of Joe DiMaggio. The one record above all other baseball records that is untouchable. Okay? And I know Jim doesn't like it when I say this.
He don't even know what you mean.
But this takes us back, and I'm talking about way back to probably one of the greatest summers in the history of baseball. That was the summer of 1941. And on May 15th in 1941, it began. On that day, Joe DiMaggio went 1 for 4 with a run batted in against Eddie Smith of the Chicago White Sox. From that fateful day until July 16th, 56 games later, DiMaggio hit safely in every game, setting a brand new record that still stands as one of the greatest achievements in baseball history. That's from the Baseball Almanac, not me. Okay?
77 years ago, Smoking Jim.
Well, DiMaggio was no stranger to being a star of an always impressive Yankee team. 1941 was even more special than usual. While the rival Red Sox were being led by Ted Williams and his unbelievable batting average, he ended the season at .406. DiMaggio pulled his team out of an early slump and led them to the World Series and himself to a Most Valuable Player award. So the last player in the history of baseball to bat over 400 for a season did not win the Most Valuable Player award that year. That award went to Joe DiMaggio. The run to the championship was jump-started by DiMaggio's streak. It is ironic that the streak began against the White Sox, and who on at least 4 occasions nearly ended DiMaggio's streaks themselves. However, it was the Indians, not the White Sox, who finally held the Yankee Clipper hitless. On July 17th, third baseman Ken Keltner made 2 terrific backhanded stops to rob Joe DiMaggio of 2 hits, ending the streak. DiMaggio had 91 hits and 223 at-bats during that stretch, batting .409. The Yankees had the last laugh as they won the game and later the World Series. See, so it does make a difference if you win the championship. It's an inside joke between Jim and I, okay?
Chip, I get it. Great point.
DiMaggio kept his streak alive through the All-Star break, and in fact, the game itself as he went 1 for 4, and the death of Yankee great Lou Gehrig on June the 2nd, in the middle of his streak. The streak, as it has become to be known, added to the legend of the great DiMaggio. The 11-time All-Star was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1955. In fact, the first line of his Cooperstown plaque pays homage to his 1941 streak. DiMaggio is one of only a few players whose famous record still stands, as even Pete Rose hit in 44 consecutive games in 1978, and Hall of Famer Paul Molitor, 39 games in 1987, have fallen far short of his record. And you notice that I didn't say Hall of Fame Pete Rose.
No,
right?
I missed that. You
okay,
mean the
yeah.
guy with the most hits will never get in the Hall of Fame?
Never get in, and it's his own fault, so that's it.
He signed it.
Baseball Almanac proudly presents a game-by-game record of the unbreakable streak. Now, this is over 30 years later, and the guy said he was the cab driver who drove DiMaggio to the game on July 17th. He apologized for telling DiMaggio that he thought the streak would end that day, and he was serious. I felt awful. He might have been spending his whole life thinking he had jinxed me, but I told him he hadn't. My number was up. Joe DiMaggio in a Yankee century, a celebration of the first 100 years of baseball's greatest team, the Yankees. But next I've got here for Jim to peruse at a later date. the game-by-game statistics of his.
Oh, man.
But here's just some fast facts regarding a streak that will never be broken. During the streak, Joe DiMaggio had a batting average of .408, a slugging percentage of .717. He faced 4 future Hall of Fame pitchers. He played in the All-Star game, 1941 All-Star game. He went 1 for 4, scored a run, drove in a run. How did it come to end? July 17th, 1941. Pitchers Al Smith and Jim Bagby of the Cleveland Indians held him hitless. 2 hard shots came close, but great defensive stops by Ken Keltner ended the streak. Did you know that that Ford Frick, the commissioner of Major League Baseball from 1951 to 1965, once stated Joe DiMaggio's hitting streak in 1941 was one of the unbeatable marks in baseball history.
Wow. The
And
commissioner
that
said that.
was in that was back in the mid 50s. So the streak still stands. It hasn't been challenged in over 30 years, and I don't think it'll be challenged anytime soon. And I think one of the things that led to the longevity of the streak is back in those days in baseball, you know, a pitcher started a game, he finished a game. And usually if you get the opportunity to bat against a pitcher 3 or 4 times in a game, you're going to get his timing down, and you're going to be more likely to get a hit over the course of a whole game. But now in this age of specialization, you have a starting pitcher that can give you 5 innings. You've got a 6th inning guy, a 7th inning guy, an 8th inning guy, a 9th inning guy. You might see 6 or 7 pitchers in a game, and you've got tons of guys that can throw the ball 100 miles an hour. So
I saw a guy throwing 102, 103.
yeah, you can see it, but I did want to pay homage to one of the greatest records in the history of baseball, one I feel will never be broken.
And I was born on July 17th, so maybe that had a little something to do with it. And
1941.
Yeah.
But
1941 for Smoking Jim
But I
Frazier.
think the 44 games is close.
Not even close.
How do you
Well,
figure
and
that?
then he missed one game. I think he went on about another 20-game hitting streak.
Well, actually, DiMaggio went on another
22
streak
games, I think.
after his streak. So, I mean, in DiMaggio's streak, I think it was somewhere into the 70s. He had like, he hit in 72 out of 73 games. It was insane.
Something like Pete Rose, yeah.
No,
But
yeah.
that's 56 games. That'll be smashed. It's like the 4-minute mile, man. When somebody breaks it.
77
This
years.
is from an NFL scout, Steelers scout, who just found baseball 6.5 years ago.
And counting.
And Joe DiMaggio was tremendously talented, you know, although Mickey Mantle was my favorite Yankee.
And, you know, and the interesting thing that you're speaking to there was the person that inherited the center field position for the Yankees after DiMaggio retired was Mickey Mantle. So,
And but again, going 1 for 4 doesn't really impress me to keep the streak going. I think that's doable.
Luckily, Smoking Jim, do you realize in baseball you get in the Hall of Fame if you fail 7 out of 10 times? Let me clear that up again, yeah.
Or you hit 4
Most of the Hall of Famers failed 7 out of 10 times.
Well, like I said before in previous shows, they say maybe the hardest thing to do in sports is hit a baseball, and I sure see a lot of people doing it.
no, not in the major
well.
league nowadays. As a matter of fact, the person to whom that quote is attributed to was no less than one of the greatest hitters in the history of the game, not the one of Ted Williams. Ted Williams said that he felt that the single hardest feat in professional sports is hitting a round ball with a round bat and hitting it squarely.
And he averaged 400
For a
For
season.
1 year.
for a season.
Only 1
No,
year.
he did.
And I will tell you this.
Only
Ted Williams?
Had he not served his country and fought in the Second World War and served his country and fought in the Korean War, it would have been interesting to see what his career statistics would have been.
Yeah.
And
He could have been a Hall of Fame fisherman too.
how many
Yeah.
professional athletes, superstar professional athletes, would take time away from their chosen profession to serve their country?
All of them.
There isn't a single one playing today.
Oh, I agree with that. But before, country was first.
You two can debate
Country
later.
was before sport.
Let me go to my segment right now. Thanks,
Good night.
Chip. Thank you. Our On Location segment next week, next Monday on the 11th, we'll be at Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 930 Brookline Boulevard. Start the show at 7:30, right 2 minutes after Smoking Jim gets there. We start filming at 7:30 to 8:30. Come on out, see Smoking Jim and his grand entrance that he makes each week for Frank Fanero's Olive Oil's Pizzeria in Brookline. Just signed up another guest. Neil Haley does shows on BPTV, and he's just a great guy. Well, he got a guest for me because I ask Smoking Jim all the time because he interviews thousands of people. Tells me I'm the best interview in the business, but he's interviewing thousands every year. So Neil sent me a guy who wrote a book about Arnold Palmer.
Oh, I want to read
So he's going to bring me a copy of the book. He said, after you're done talking, Machine, you can let that co-host, because I heard his name, Smoking Jim, you can let him read. I said, well, that's not going to happen because I'm sort of selective on who I lend my books out to. But his name is Chris, and he'll be on our show. We have an artist who has NFL paintings. He has a painting in the Steelers headquarters. Has painted Dan Rooney, Art Rooney, and just a well-known painter, Jono Proskak. He's has a place right on Arlington Avenue. Just a great guy, great artist. I was at his booth yesterday at Three Rivers Art Festival. His wife, Maria, took a picture of me and Johnny there. And I was in front of his latest picture of the hill, the Southside Hill. Hundreds of homes there, and he has a unique style where he paints with sand. So he uses sand in his paint, so it's like a texture type of thing. It's pretty cool. He's been doing it 30-some years, and it helps save his life. You'll hear the story. Come see him. Then I have a young lady, Aubrey Burchill. She was on American Idol, and her dad plays guitar, Russ. I talked to him a couple times. They're going to be out. They'll talk a little sports, and then they're going to play some music for us.
All right.
So we're going to mix it up with little music at Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Don't miss the $5 one-topping large pizzas, $5 large hoagies. You can't go wrong there. Come on out. See us next Monday on location at Olive Oil's Pizzeria. We'll see you there. And we'll be coming back talking some buckos. Thanks, Chief, for not changing that dial. Hope you're with your dad tonight having some good dessert. We appreciate you and all the other folks and fans of ours that are watching our TV show and enjoy this, especially Smoking Jim's expertise, well, on baseball, but, you know, he's not really an expert. Chip's our man on baseball, and we're talking buckos. I'm a little bit disappointed. They lost 14 of 16 games recently. Starting pitching, we've had some problems. Relief pitching, we've had some problems.
The starting pitching has not been as much of a problem as the relief pitching because we've gone into a number of games with leads late. And our relief
pitching has let us down tremendously. And then lack of timely hitting. We'll get some runs, then they come back, then we don't get enough runs at the end. But
well, you know, and
some of this happens with the young ball team that has potential.
Yeah, and right now, as the Pirates sit today, 59 games into the season, they're at 30-29, and I could be willing to bet you, if say March 15th, if we would have said on June the 5th, if the Pirates are if the Pirates would be 30-29. Everybody would have looked at me like I had three heads.
Guess what? I mean, I accept the 30-29 because it's better than I thought.
It's better than we thought, and the team is in a process of finding itself. And really, what the Pirates need is to solidify their bullpen. Their starting pitching, I mean, you've seen some ups and downs out of a young pitching staff, but they haven't been the problem.
They're not the major problem.
They're not the major problems. What the Pirates do have is an interesting little dilemma because they've got 4 outfielders with the amazing thing about Austin Meadows, and we may as well just get right out there and talk about it. He did not get called up until May the 18th. On May the 18th, he made his first start for Pittsburgh. And for the month of May, he won the National League Rookie of the Month for the month of May. And he only played 13 days. So, most of the month he didn't even play, yet he made such an impact. So that begs to ask the question, why is Austin Meadows not playing every night? You look at what's happening with Gregory Polanco. Gregory Polanco worked out hard, got himself healthy over the off season, started out the season strong.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, Gregory Polanco now has his batting average has reached the Mendoza line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and I don't know if they have options available for him.
And some of his fielding is an adventure out there. My goodness.
I don't know if they have the ability to be able to send him down to the minors to work on what he's deficient in right now. But it seems to me perplexing, to say the least, that you would allow him to continue to play because he's dragging the team down, and Meadows is exceeding everybody's expectations right now. He's playing well defensively. He can play center field. You've got Corey Dickerson over there in left field, and I would think it would make sense to me put Marte in center, Meadows in left, move Dickinson over into right field, and let what do you got to do to get Gregory Polanco right? I don't think that
let him meditate on the bench.
Giving him playing time now when you've got a player that's as hot as Meadows does not seem to make a lot of sense to me.
I play Meadows till he cools off.
It's just like Tomlin said about Willie Parker. I'm going to run him until the wheels fall off. And, why not? I do the same thing with Le'Veon Bell. That would be if he ever showed us up.
Oh, he will.
Well, didn't the Pirates draft an outfielder today?
They did. They drafted outfielder. His last name is Swaggart. And I understand that this is a young man who's got a good bat. We'll see what happens. The weird thing about the draft in Major League Baseball as opposed to the NBA draft or the NFL draft is almost never does a player get drafted and go right into the major leagues. It's usually he gets drafted, he spends a couple of years in the minor leagues before he gets called up. Some players shorter periods of time than others, but
I saw an interesting stat today. I know you like trivia. You like this. Mike Piazza was drafted number 62, and he's in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. It's rare that guys at that level.
Well, in the
second round,
62.
There was a second or third round draft.
Oh.
But here's the thing, number one draft picks in baseball do not always turn out to be the best players. Now, some teams get real lucky. Like if you look at what the Houston Astros did when they tanked for 3 or 4 years and they hit on all their first round picks.
Yeah.
Subsequently, look at the team that won the World Series last year. You've got the Washington Nationals, on the other hand, okay, who back-to-back years had the number one pick and took Steven Strasburg and Bryce Harper. And even though they're both great players, neither of them have been able to get them over the hump.
No.
Okay, but that's the curse of the Washington franchises.
Ask Smoking Jim.
Well,
Smoking Jim is our curse man.
Yeah, the Pittsburgh Pirates sort of look like a team since '92 that's been cursed. Hello, Sid Bream.
Well,
they discovered that 4 or 5 years after that happened with Sid Bream. They didn't make it up then, so the curse come later. Because people like yourself, I don't know if you call it naive or what, but they make up this stuff as an excuse.
Well, I call it grasping for straws.
Yeah, it's just an excuse. And the nice picture that Smoking Jim Frazier put up with Sid Bream was disgraced by mention of the curse, because there's no curse after he was on our show. He's a great guy.
So the Pirates have had some great performances by some young pitchers, and unfortunately this evening, Pirates are scheduled to play the Dodgers in the games in a rain delay. But the one player that I've only seen him twice. He's only made 2 starts. He's 2-0. Joe Musgrove.
Yeah.
Joe Musgrove was one of the gets that we got from the Astros for Garrett Cole. And I'm telling you what, this guy actually won the 5th game of the World Series last year against the Dodgers when he was pitching for the Astros. So he knows he can perform in big game situations. But the thing that I saw him do last week that made me really say, oh man, this guy is a ball player. I'll go back. There was there was a play against the Cubs where Anthony Rizzo went out of his way to try to injure Elias Diaz, the catcher.
You mean that slide that Smoking Jim said was perfectly legal.
Okay. Well, the following day, Joe Musgrove, the pitcher, is on first base, and somebody laid down a bunt, and Musgrove went hard into second base to break up the double play, and it is great to see a pitcher with some hard-nosed baseball instincts.
Yeah.
And, it led to a benches clearing incident. There was no punches thrown. Nobody got suspended.
Typical baseball.
And it was a typical, that was a baseball play because the second baseman was on second base and he slid through the base. On the play when the catcher had the ball and stepped in front of the plate, and the runner had to go out of the baseline to be able to hit his leg.
What game was that? What the pitcher did?
It was the next game.
Wednesday? That's the game I was in, I think.
No, you weren't there for it.
I wasn't there.
You must have been.
Because they came out, both benches cleared.
Then that was it.
That was when it happened. That's when it happened. But of
you
course,
just didn't know.
You just missed it, right?
You didn't
With
know.
the pitcher?
Yeah, you didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't know. I was too busy talking,
Yeah,
man.
see, yeah.
They come running from the outfield, bro.
And this is the reason why they have to put up special netting all the way down the first base line and the third base line. They got to protect people from themselves, because when you're at a baseball game, folks, you are supposed to be watching the game. You're not supposed to be doing this. Okay, you're not supposed to be talking to the person.
Sitting around a lot of beautiful women, brother.
What a surprise!
But let me ask you this, Chip. I know that Pirates gave you a free ticket because nobody's showing up. But how come people are staying away from you?
I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for that. I mean, I could go on for some things that I think, but I have really no basis in fact for my opinion. It's just an opinion. But you know what?
Give it to us.
No.
Like to hear.
Here's what my point is. All the hypocrites that are avoiding going to the game right now, they will be back as long as the Pirates continue to win. Okay?
30-29.
30-29 is a winning record.
14
out of 16. Record.
14 out of 16 losses.
Jim,
you think they'll turn it around?
You know what?
You made it.
Yeah.
You showed up during that streak.
I was on crack 76. I wouldn't money. I might go up to Delaware and double down on that.
You know what?
Go do it now.
And that's the reason why your gangster roll is half the size of mine.
That's true. I am a gambler, bro.
Yeah, I'm not. I bet on the one sure thing I know, me.
There you go. That's the best bet in business.
That's good.
Can't go wrong. Well,
Yeah.
that's our Bucko talk there. We appreciate that.
Let's talk about the not yet completed Stanley Cup Finals.
Yes.
Because Washington has not won the title yet. The first team that wins 4. Okay? And Las Vegas, well, they're regrouping. They play again tomorrow night in Vegas. And does Marc-Andre have the
I don't
magic
know.
left? I hate to admit this because, I know Jim will gloat. Yes. But, I'm starting to get the impression that maybe, just maybe, this might be the Capitals' year. And I don't think that the team is being carried on Ovechkin's shoulders much like Jim would lead people to believe.
No.
I believe, and if you go back and look at the Tampa Bay series, you remember the Tampa Bay series,
Oh, yeah.
right?
He doesn't even know what that was.
How many goals did Tampa Bay score in Games 6 and 7?
All I know is that my boys was down 3-2.
No. How many goals did Tampa Bay score in Games 6 and 7?
I can't remember.
None. Okay, so that means that Brandon Holtby and the Washington defense shut out the Tampa Bay Lightning, who is a high-powered offense. So, we've always said defense wins championships, okay? And I think Washington's defense is playing very, very well, allowing the goals that the offense scores to be the deciding factor. So,
it was tough. It was tough watching Vegas hit 2 posts in the first 4 minutes of the game the other day. You think the hockey gods weren't on Vegas' side anymore when you see that. Because then, Oshie had a goal where he kicked the puck to his stick and got that in, and there was another one like that.
But,
so it's like some of the plays are going Washington's way because they're working hard at it. They're actually playing hard, and Vegas looked a little bit out of it.
I'm already predicting back-to-back.
Until you've won the fourth game. Until we win the fourth game.
Tell it to him. I understand that. I'm just saying what I see watching the games.
We've got a couple minutes left, and I know how Jim is very much into the NBA. And then you've got the Golden State, you got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Oh, by the way, did you hear what LeBron had to say today? Whichever team wins the NBA title, neither of them will be going to the White House.
Yeah,
really?
I saw KD on an interview, and he said they wouldn't be going.
No, they're not going to be going because they don't have any respect for the man in the
because of how the president talks about people of color, black people. Mm-hmm. That's what they said, just like this, right up front.
President Trump's always been cool with black people.
Mm-hmm. You mustn't have heard him. Mm-hmm. I guess you didn't hear him.
He used to run the USFL, and he used to promote boxing.
He
had Mike Tyson at one time.
Did you miss what he called the NFL players? SOBs?
He ain't the only one to call them.
No, but he did that. He's a president. No president has ever done that, which makes you proud of him.
But the NFL didn't allow him to be.
So here's the one thing I don't understand. Maybe somebody could help me understand this a little better. Okay, basketball is a game played in shorts and T-shirts, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Well, they play the game in shorts and T-shirts because it's basically a non-contact sport, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basic.
Now you've got hockey, which is a sport that's played at high speed with pads, hard ice, wooden boards, checking, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
How is it that hockey can play a game every other day, but you play basketball games? You play one on Sunday, one on Wednesday, one on Saturday. I mean, why do they need 3 days off in between games? Is that to get a
physicality of
or something? I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, you play the games every other day. Come on, it's basketball. But again, just my humble opinion.
It's a good point. Well taken, Chip. Makes me wonder at times too, but it is sad to hear that they're not going to be seeing your Mr. Trump, the president.
Well, all I know is this. I said it before, and I'll say it again. I know we're running out of time. That Golden State is the greatest team in team sport history. The ownership did it right. They kept all the team together, unlike the Penguins and some others.
Thank you, Smoking Jim, for holding that same thought. We appreciate it. Although Golden State may win in 4, it could happen. They may beat LeBron in 4. Okay. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching our show. Thanks to the Bethel Park community for having BPTV and us on each week. We appreciate you. And that's about all I have to say. And please stay Joey strong.